another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the unpopular zone.
Andrew Jones is a shell-shock quarterback. Ryan Dable, this is on you. You did not have this team prepared. Aaron Judge injected for the first time in his career in the 7th inning. Cam Thomas needs to elevate his playmaking this year. So they got to get there. They got to find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Unpopular Opinion Sports coming back at you with another unpopular opinion, man. You know how we do it on the outside. And today we outside here at the as you can see, we're the first Africans were brought to Virginia, apparently. And this is Fort Monroe. This is Fort Monroe and Hampton, Virginia. So just want to give y'all that before we get into the sports topic. But I'm gonna head over to the fishing pier, and we're gonna talk about the New York Giants in this episode. So y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be right back. All right, man. So I'm back. Like I said, went over to the fishing pier. It's a little bit noisy in the area. They are doing some construction out here, so I want to kind of come over here where it's chill, breezy. Y'all see the atmosphere. Pretty nice out here, nice day. But speaking of fishing, it seems like the New York Giants are fishing for answers when it comes to what to do with the 3rd overall pick. So today, in today's episode, I want to get into Plan B, if you want to call it that. Plan B, because everybody knows, if you've been watching the content, that I think the Giants should pick Shedeur Sanders above all, that is Carter and Hunter. But I'm unpopular opinions, and you already know it ain't gonna be no consensus over here. That being said, I do understand that the possibility of the Giants not drafting Shedeur Sanders is real. It's real because you hear a lot of reports, you hear a lot of rumors, and it is the NFL draft. Anything can happen. We all know that. So everybody always asking me, what do you do if they don't pick Shedeur, or if they don't go quarterback at 3? This is what you do. So I'm not for Travis Hunter. You guys probably watched my video. Came out the other day. I don't like that fit, to be honest with you. But Abdul Carter, we're talking about, it's a different story with Abdul Carter. You know, it's a different story with Abdul Carter because if you don't have a quarterback, the best thing you could do is build a team that can get after the quarterback. You become a quarterback hunter at that point. And in the New York Giants division, where you have Jalen Hurts coming off a Super Bowl, you have Jaden Daniels coming off Rookie of the Year, and you have Dak Prescott, who is still here and still is a solid veteran despite what people think about him. So if you don't want Shedeur Sanders, again, not my thoughts, but this is what the Giants fans, as crazy as they are, they don't want a quarterback for some reason now. So what do you do? You know, it's not the end of the world. I get it. It's not the end of the world if you don't draft Shedeur Sanders. It's not the end of the world if you don't go quarterback. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly what I would do. I would not take a quarterback in this draft. Yeah, I said it. I would not take a quarterback in the draft because, to be honest with you, what are you doing? If you're not going with Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, you're gonna go with the third or fourth or fifth best quarterback in a so-called weak class, and you're gonna sell your fans on that. In a so-called weak class, you can go with the third or fourth, just because you ain't want to take one at 3 because you got cold feet all of a sudden. You know, everybody telling me take the chance. If you miss, you gotta miss on the quarterback. Okay, well, cool. The Giants been missing on position players, so let's take another one and hope they hit this time and still not have a quarterback. Anyway, so you go up Abdul Carter at 3. And I got two scenarios. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna break this down all the way down. So I got 2 scenarios. Now, one, you can take Abdul Carter, and then with the next pick, you go guard. You take a guard, and then with that next pick, you take a defensive tackle, and then with that next pick, you take a running back, and then you take another defensive offensive lineman, and then you fill out your roster from there with depth pieces. And y'all might be saying, dang, what about the receivers? And nah, y'all not worried about that. You don't want the quarterback, so let's not worry about trying to build up this big time offense, because you got to start with the quarterback. That's what I was told, right? So if you're not going quarterback, I'm not even worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and build this line so that I can stop getting my ass kicked by the Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders and the Cowboys. That's what I'm doing. If you don't want a quarterback, the best thing you could do is build up your lines. Build up your offensive line, build up your defensive line, and try to compete with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston this year. And then I don't know where you're getting the quarterback from, because y'all don't even think past go. Because next year you're really not going to be in a position to get one if you win any type of games this year, since this is such a mandated win now year. If you winning games this year, how you set yourself up to get a quarterback of the future? So again, you just going to have to luck into it at that point. Dead ass. Either you get a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, and they hit, which everybody say is such a slim chance that happens. That's why I don't want a quarterback if I'm not taking one at 3. So you do that, or your second option is to trade out of the pick and get more picks. Trade out of the pick. If New England or Jacksonville or the Jets or the Raiders or somebody want to come up and get Abdul Carter, make the trade. Make the trade, because getting more picks to me is more valuable than adding an edge player to I'm not gonna say it's a strength of the Giants, but you good there. You don't really need Abdul Carter for real. It's kind of like a luxury. You just boosting up a strength or a supposed strength for yours already, which is the D-line with Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns. Then they added pieces in the offseason, as depth. So to me, that is what you do. That is what you do 100%. You go and you trade out that pick. Let whoever want Abdul Carter come up, jump you, get Abdul Carter, you get more picks. And then you can start filling out your roster from there. You can start filling out your roster for there, and I'm still not taking a quarterback. I don't want a quarterback unless it's Sador Sanders or Cam Ward. And people miss me with this Milrow stuff, miss me with this Jackson Dart stuff, because Brian Dable, according to y'all, is got to win games this year, and he don't got time to be developing no quarterback. That's why y'all don't want to do it. So we gonna keep it a buck. We're gonna keep the same energy for all the other quarterbacks. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of feeling like this what the Giants gonna do anyway. They're gonna make a mistake and pass on what I believe and a few others in the minority believe that's a franchise quarterback. Y'all are gonna pass on him and you're gonna regret it. And when you regret it, don't come to me telling me you wish you had a quarterback. I'm telling y'all now. I'm telling y'all now. I'm giving all y'all smoke that don't want this quarterback. Don't switch it up again when it comes time. Or don't switch it up again when you see Sador, Cam Ward, and these quarterbacks out there balling out, and you sitting here with Russell Wilson and pick throwing Jameis Winston. But y'all good now because of who the quarterbacks are. That's fine. Keep the same energy. So anyway, look, if they can't get Sador Sanders, or if they don't want Sador Sanders and they want to be hard-headed and stubborn, don't go and get a quarterback just to get a quarterback. Just take BPA throughout the damn draft. You can get Abdul Carter and maybe you can get a damn Kenneth Grant or somebody like that. Shit. You know, and get a Tate Ratledge or Jonas Savianaya on the offensive line. Maybe you can get a Savion Williams, you know, to replace Wan'Dale Robinson out there and be a good 2 to 3, be a second or third option out there with Slayton and Malik Neighbors. Maybe you could do that. You know, maybe you can upgrade the linebacker room. You know, maybe you can get a running back like a Cam Scatbo or Quinshawn Judkins or somebody like that. You know, maybe you can get a tight end like Elijah Arroyo. So move out the pick if you don't want the quarterback and just stack the draft with talent, man. Draft is filled with talent in the 2nd to 3rd to 4th rounds. I think those are the sweet spots for some pretty good players in this draft. We've been doing our homework over here with Unpopular Opinion Sports and with the Aboriginal Sports Network. So trust me, getting more picks in this draft will definitely help the Giants out for the future if they do not go quarterback. But that's the video, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, y'all already know what it is. Peace.